Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. We're looking at a Honda Beat. This one here is the mid-engined rear-wheel drive, kind of like an S2000, I guess. You know, they do have a history of convertibles with cool, sporty engines. This is a K car with a 660cc, so you know, a 0.7 liter engine, but it does put out 64 horsepower, and it doesn't even have anything crazy with the valves. It is a non-VTEC engine, but it has factory ITB, that's individual throttle bodies, one per each of the 3 cylinders. And so it makes one of the best sounds of every engine. Even if you're not going that fast, it sounds awesome. And then maybe even equally so because of the Fujitsu quad exit exhaust. I think that's going to sound awesome, but the intake sound of one of these is intense. I'm going to look over the condition of the vehicle. It was bought from auction here. We're going to be sending it to the USA. Condition-wise, this is, well, I've seen a lot of these. We send a lot of them to the USA. This is maybe an 8 out of 10, so much higher than average. It is a 25-year-old vehicle. It needs some attention, but it still has a lot of life left in it. So let's turn the engine off here, and we'll take a look at the vehicle. Now, firstly, take a look down here. It says MT-Rec, M-Trek, and this is multi-throttle responsive engine control. Multi-throttle as in individual throttle bodies. And it goes vroom when you rev it. And with the top open, it just sounds so cool. Let's throw this down. And just gotta mention front and rear strut tower braces from Sustec Tanabe. Okay, the coolant looks okay and the oil looks okay. And let's put this down now. Let's see if we can do this one-handed. Success. Oh, and look at how tiny your trunk is. There is no room in the front either. It's just for your spare tire. So this is the fun car to go on a nice weather trip down to the beach or whatever. Soft top in great condition on this one. Bar around here, barely any cracks. See these cracks here? Almost all of them have that hole throughout the entire top, but here it's just here, from here to there, and none on the other side. I'll translate this auction inspection sheet and then I'll show you the condition of the car. This is a 1992 Beat base grade. This one here has the full 6-digit odometer, and so it is accurate mileage at 92,300. Okay. Auction grade 4 with an interior grade C. It's original red color, obviously gasoline engine. K cars weren't allowed to be diesels actually. So 5-speed manual AC. Sales points here: Fujitsu exhaust 4 exits. Strut tower bar. They don't mention, but it's on the front and the rear. Nardi steering wheel is an aftermarket steering wheel. No power steering in this, and so your steering feel is very direct. And pretty light because, you know, there's no engine on top of the wheels. And these are the original wheels. The phone dials. And they're called that because old phones used to have a rotary dial on them. You stick your finger in and you... And I had that when I was a kid. Only because we grew up super poor, not because I grew up in the 50s. What else do we got here? Nardi steering wheel. Tires are from 2018. Mizotsuta? I don't know what that means. But they're Yokohama Ecos tires. And look at this. 13 by 4.5. Teeny little wheels. Nice little light and original suspension. Okay, so the report here says seat is ripped 3 centimeters, trim is faded. Both of those, they're not nearly as bad as your average one. I'll show you when we get inside. Interior liner wear and scratched, dirty, and cigarette burn. There's actually a cigarette burn on the seat they might have missed. It's in an area that is not usually where the cigarette burns end up. Door mirror scratched, wheels scratched. Exterior has color repair marks. Actually, it's been fully repainted. Various scratches and dents, and then if you look at here, this door has been replaced. Minor scratches here and minor scratches there. So very, very clean looking body, hence the grade 4 there. Okay, so I'll take a once around so that you can see it from all different angles. These are really tiny. You're not going to get the full understanding of how big they are in the video, but they're just a touch longer than an original Mini, and they're probably narrower, and they are shorter than the original Mini. And so on the road, especially in countries that have large vehicles like the USA, these things are going to look like a little go-kart. And you can drive highway speed with these. I think 120 kilometers an hour, which, what is that? I don't know, divide by 1.6, you get an approximation. They can drive fairly quickly. The acceleration is brisk, it's nothing great. I'm not sure exactly how much these weigh, but probably somewhere in the 800 kilogram range. And so 64 horsepower for 800 kilograms helps being a lightweight. And people know about the S660, which is Honda's remake of the Beat that came out, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or so. Has very similar body proportions and headlights and styling and whatnot. Okay, all right, let's take a look at some of the details here. So the front bumper, we have a rock chip here. We have another rock chip here. We have a rock chip, not that one. And then some minor scratches there and here. You should be able to polish all of that out. Front bumper has some paint cracks right below the headlight right here. And it, scratch here, has these little pieces added on. I guess for style, maybe for safety, like a bumper. I'm not sure. I would take them off. Side panels, we're looking really good. Very little amount of paint wave. Okay, and I think these are probably more fun with the original wheel size because of the lightweightness, and with the original suspension. Even though it's a little on the soft side, it really gives it an active character that you don't get when you lower it. Okay, soft top is incredible. The back screen is not very cloudy. It's actually quite easy to see through, and it doesn't have little tears at the joints like you'll often see, and it hasn't shrunk. That's important. These things can tend to shrink and let water into them. There's no smell of mold inside this one. This is an original spoiler on the back. It is optional. You can get them with or without a spoiler. Or a wing, I guess you would consider this. Maybe spoiler, maybe wing. I don't know. Alright, I think the exhaust looks good, and boy do I want to show you how it sounds when you drive it. Unfortunately, we have World War III right now with our neighbor. She has literally come out here in the last 2 days like 20 times and complained about us and threatened to call the police, but so far hasn't. You might actually see the police car coming down there. She promised us she would, so we're waiting for that. I do feel bad about shooting reports on the street, but land in Japan is extremely expensive, and there is literally nothing that can work into our business model, despite the fact that we sell tons and tons of cars. So that is a bummer. At least in this area. Other areas of Japan aren't as expensive. Door cards. This is what they were talking about with the fade. Now these are made out of the same kind of plastic that you'll sometimes see on cars. I don't see any around here that have it, but you know, they have bumpers that are just gray plastic. It fades pretty easily. So there is a bit of the beginnings of fade here. It is far less than what I have normally seen on these cars. And then take a look here, there's a few chips in it, and this comes from the seat belt being here and closing the door. So just do be aware of that. The seat, yeah, zebra stripes. These are the only pattern that you can get for the seats of these. It's crazy. And you're thinking the seats look pretty good. Maybe you've seen the rip. These seats rip like crazy. It's very common, like 80% of them have it. Look down here. Here's our rip. That's not the more common place to rip. They'll usually rip down here because the frame of it is right underneath some very thin padding. As soon as the padding wears away like it has here, it becomes quite prone to rip right along there. You can see it's a bit threadbare. Now the cigarette burn in the liner, let's see if I can find that. They call door cards liners on the auction sheet. I don't see it there. I see a fake carpet there. Oh, here's something fun. See this? Hit that like button if you know what that is. Because if I saw that, I know exactly what that would be. The car came in and the back lights were on. That's a plunger for the back of a brake light switch. And sometimes they just break and come off. And then the brake lights are on permanently. I mean, you probably won't be able to see in here, but I took 2 yen coins and I taped them in there as a little plunger for now. I'm going to ship it that way. And then you can repair it. Or you can keep the coins in there until the tape falls off. But if your brake lights ever just stay on, and there's one in the spoiler and two there. Here's the tail lights. Do you know where the brakes are? Yeah, that's what it is. Go tape some more Japanese coins in there. And there's the rip there. The cigarette burn is down here. It's actually on both cushions. If you push this down, it's gotten on both, but it is kind of up in there. Kind of not that visible because it's a zebra seat. Okay, steering wheel here. There is some wear on the outside of the steering wheel there, but it is minor. And these Nardi steering wheels are great. They were good, like, girth and feel good, very good communication with how you're actually driving. The gauge set here is really cool. The tack being in the middle is perfect. And look at that, rev to 10,000. That's how you get your 64 horsepower. This doesn't close. This part here, the glove box is okay. It's missing the thing it's supposed to clip onto up here. Okay, AC works nice and strongly. No power steering, so nothing to check there. Really easy to steer it without the power steering though. Okay, oh, these look really nice. Oh, I love that. This is good. Okay, it comes with a tape deck there, and it has a little picture of a beet on the tape deck. A little cartoonified one. And then back here, there's little slots to put your tapes. So you can have a whole bunch of tapes. And if you own this car, I recommend that you get an old cassette player and then record some music onto the tapes just so that you can get the full experience. And then CD, I don't know where the changer is, but probably in the back. And then fake carpets in here as well. And, oh, we have some wires down there. Mystery wires. It's a short throw transmission here. So that's cool. Power windows. And this has relatively little or few scratches and fade on it. It doesn't have the super live sound. There is one that has speakers there and up here, which is really cool, but unfortunately this one doesn't have that. And plus those speakers are probably not the best. They're paper cone speakers and they're 25 years old and they're sitting right next to the windshield where they get cooked by the sun. So even if you have that, I suspect it's rare that you actually have good sound out of them anymore. Okay, we are done. Honda Beat. One of the coolest 90s K cars from Japan. Very economical, very attention getting, and just a fun little car to have. So that'll be the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.